Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the SQ1 Champions League. I'm, of course, Viperoon. I'm joined by Byron Villa, and we've got a cracking game here for you tonight. We've got EUS taking on Royal Reapers in Week 10, Day 2.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a mid-table toss-up here. Royal Reapers came into the split coming in as one of their favourites. They did fantastic last split, but it was consistent success last split. I'm looking at them this split, and the word isn't consistent. It's the opposite. It's inconsistent for these guys.
They are, on their day, very, very good. I think that's without denial for Royal Reapers, but this, yeah, as you say, sometimes they can just trip up. We saw them beating teams like CBA, one of the few teams that have actually managed to take a win off those guys, but then they'll turn around and lose to teams that maybe aren't as favoured for playoffs as you'd expect. So it's going to be important for them to really come in and beat EUS, because these guys are both fighting for playoff spots. Royal Reapers still within a chance of getting top 2 mathematically, but realistically it's unlikely. EUS still very much looking to get that playoff berth and to compete at the next stage of this competition.
Yeah, and these guys are actually incredibly even when you look at the match stats. EUS, they're 6-7 with 2 forfeits. Royal Reapers are 6-6. So they are actually tied in the table right now. So this should be an incredibly close matchup that we'll be seeing here, which is what makes me even more excited. But the question is, which Royal Reapers is going to show up? Because that can determine this game, you know. EUS, they're very much that, I like to call them the litmus test team. They're very good at judging, okay, we're mid-table, we'll beat the teams above us, we'll lose the teams above us, sorry, and then we'll beat the teams below us, and we'll just be nice in the table, and that's what they want. And the thing is, that's a good position to be in as a team, and the thing is now it's a good test for Royal Reapers. Are they going to be able to make that step up to the playoffs, be able to start challenging those top teams? Because if they can't beat EUS, the question marks have to start flying out.
We are into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. Royal Reapers are on the red side, EUS on the blue side. We've just been chatting, building storylines. It doesn't matter too much. We've got the standard array of bans, nothing too strange up there. Swain's being locked in instantly. Where do you expect that to be going?
I'm a fan of, I mean, Swain can go top, mid. I have seen the AD carry too.
Ooh.
Now, I'm not a fan of it in the bot lane personally, but it did work out last time I saw it. So keep your eyes on that, because I'm not sure where it's going. It's a big flex pick, Swain. And Aurelia, same kind of thing, can go top, can go mid, but paired with that SQ1, these two are absolutely disgusting duos to play against.
They're very strong in the ganks, of course, because SQ1, you can stack that E with Aurelia, who's very good at being mobile, and then you get the stun off and it's gross. SQ1 most likely going for Karaka Wonderboy in the jungle. We have seen times of SQ1 top. We've seen it support a very, very little bit. I'd be surprised if we see it somewhere other than jungle. And Bard, that is a champion we don't get to see very much of, though.
That's a wacky pick to have in your second rotation. I mean, Bard is something that we don't see often. He's a very squishy champion. It's hard to make roams happen a lot of times, especially when you're isolating someone in the bot lane. So having that Bard locked in does initially surprise me. However, this makes me want to believe there is going to be that Swain in the bot lane, because if you want to leave someone in the bot lane, you'd want it to be something like a Swain who can kind of handle themselves, rather than that squishy, typical AD carry, where if you leave them on their own, they're going to get absolutely smashed.
Yeah, and of course Shen being locked in as well. With the Bard there, you wouldn't expect it to be Shen support, but we've seen weirder things happen, so that's most likely going up into that top lane, very versatile pick. And Yuumi has snuck her way all the way through until 6th pick. She's going to be locked in over on the side of Royal Reapers. And of course, they've got this summon, they've got one last Uwu in, for replacing Francesco for game 1 today. He's an unknown quantity, we're going to have to see how they do, but they're paired up with Imbi, who has been playing a lot of different roles and has been pretty crucial to them in the backdoor victory we saw last time around.
Yeah, and that Yuumi pick, I really, really like into that Bard, because Yuumi is used typically with Ezreal, with Sivir, and they use those champions to try and dominate the laning phase, poke people out. See it with Caitlyn too. Yuumi's very, very good at doing that, and allowing that bot lane to push a lot of advantage. If you see a Bard locked in, you know that support isn't going to be in bot lane a whole lot of the time, so you could completely take over this lane, start really chucking those tower platings and looking for aggressive plays onto whatever bot lane the enemy team want to lock in. So I'm a real big fan of this. What surprised me a little bit is the Amumi ban. I mean, I imagine Decor plays it a lot, but still, that is not your typical ban. And that I'm not sure why. I mean, you're able to deal with a lot, engage fairly well with the composition you have right now.
Yeah, you don't want... Amumu's one of those kind of interesting champions in that he can be... He's seemingly quite weak, you'd think, looking at him and looking at how much he's played, but he's got a very binary playstyle where he does what he does very, very well. In terms of a big team fight engage tanky champion, Amumu's actually one of the best. So getting rid of that shows intent from Royal Reapers that maybe they don't want to have to deal with that. It will be interesting to see what they lock in, whether it's something that Amumu really can't... Like, Amumu is really good at dealing with. Because from what they've got right now, Sejuani and Aurelia are pretty fine into Amumu. We're going to see the Lucian being locked in as their marksman, presumably for Imbi. And that's quite a nice aggressive lane, as you were saying, to really bully whoever they put at marksman on EUS. Because Bard, as you say, could be anywhere. Could be going for a little walk most of the time.
Yeah, certainly could be. However, one thing I do want to mention, if they do want to commit to this aggressive bot lane strategy, you have to keep in mind that Shen pick, and this is why it's a very good pick, is that you can use it to have that stand united, use it across the map. However, I wanted to kind of figure out the flex mix here, because that's a Riven, Kled, Shen, Swain, Bard. Let's spin the wheel. Where are these champions going? Because
that doesn't look like a team composition. Well, I mean, that kind of all but confirms that we should see a Swain going into the bot lane with Q, you'd imagine, as the only ranged champion other than Bard. I don't know who's going jungle here, because Kled is appalling in the jungle.
Riven.
Jungle? Yeah. We're going to see Poppy locked in last out for Royal Reapers, which is very nice, against the Riven and the Shen, and the Kled to an extent. So that's a really, really smart pick up for Awaken in the top lane. And Poppy's looking pretty decent as a champion anyway at the moment. And it's a bit of a rogue draw from EUS. I don't really know what to make of it.
Right, so they're going to keep switching on champions for a while. So let's focus right now on what Royal Reapers have. And what they have is a very solid team fighting composition with ways to capitalize early games. So you look at the team fight, you've got a Poppy Sejuani front line with a Yuumi supporting an Aurelia Lucian. That, in the mid to late game, sounds like a very, very good composition, especially into what EUS have. However, what I want to focus on is their way to have some early game aggression. Because top lane, Poppy into Riven is a damn good matchup. A lot of people will tell you that, and it could be somewhere where Awaken looks to punish. Mid lane, you've got Omena taking Ignite, looking to aggressive alongside that Sejuani, where we talked about how strong that 2v2 is. So that's going to be a really good matchup for Royal Reapers. And in the bot lane, Lucian Yuumi can completely take over that lane. So overall, I look at Royal Reapers, all their champions in their lanes should be doing well. Possibly looking at maybe winning all three lanes. If they're able to convert that to a mid-game, kind of take a few objectives, convert that gold, then that can mean the difference between the game here. And that's how I expect that competition to play. However, on the other side, the spectator delays here, now we know where the people are. It is going to be Riven top lane into the Poppy, Shen jungle, Kled mid, Swain ADC, and Bard support.
I really don't like how EUS have placed these champions, because Riven top into Poppy, Riven's going to have a horrible time into that champion, because Awaken can block two of her main abilities if he plays right, and can be quite tanky and can do quite a lot of damage. So Riven shouldn't have a nice time here, you would think. Shen jungle, I have no clue how that goes out. I imagine he's got a reasonably slow clear, but it's probably reasonably safe after his first back, you'd expect. Kled mid into Aurelia, that's basically just a top lane matchup moved mid. I don't really know what... I don't know what to make of this composition. I just don't.
Okay, so what I see is a very, very, very strong roaming about the map dive composition. That's exactly what they're going to do. If you're, let's say, an Irelia sitting at a tower, all of a sudden you hear the charge, Kled's flying in, Bar's teleporting behind you, the Shen standing out is on that Kled, they're running it down, Swain's behind them. That's what they want to do. They have a lot of dive potential, and they could really look to just 4 or 5 mile lane. That's the kind of potential that EUS have. Now, the issue is they need to have a bit of lane priority before they can go and do that, and I don't think they're going to have that with their matchups. But if they're able to prove me wrong, which I really hope they do, because the match that what they have as a continued composition, when that gets online, it's going to look incredibly scary. There's going to be nothing you're going to be able to do to stop a Kled with a Shen out on him and the Bard flying through. Like, that just sounds horrific to deal with. It's just whether or not they can execute on that kind of almost one-dimensional style, I want to say.
They have to engage in order to get this composition going. Because, as you said, it's a really nice roaming around the map, diving, engaging, fighting composition. This composition that they built themselves cannot really siege. because you don't really have enough damage to be taking those towers if there's a defense put up. They're going to struggle if they fall behind, as you said. One thing I do quite like about this ES composition is the Swain going alongside the Bard. It's quite a heavy AP composition, but Swain is going to be a little happier 2v1ing in that bot lane than your traditional marksman, as you said, when it was locked in and we were kind of theory crafting where it would go. Lucian is going to have to be super aggressive with that Yuumi to really put the pressure onto Swain, and that I think will be quite important, whether Imbi and One Last Uwu can really bully Ku down when Bard go for his walk, because otherwise we could see Bard creating loads and loads of pressure and getting members of his team going elsewhere that need to get going for this composition to work.
Yeah, exactly. We are in the loading screen now, though. Very, very excited to see how that composition works out, because this could be an incredibly spicy game. I do worry, though, because they're drafting Engage into what is a Poppy, Sejuani, and a Yuumi. That's not something you would typically go for. Now, I'm open to see how they do, because this could end up really well for them. If they've practiced this in scrims, this competition they're successful with, it could work out for them. But looking in terms of how the competitions interact, it's gonna be a tough one for EUS. However, Royal Reapers, glancing back to what I said at the start of the cast, they are inconsistent. Sometimes we see an amazing team, and sometimes we just don't get to see that greatness that we expect from Royal Reapers. They are an incredibly strong team, but can we see it? And they have the tools to set themselves up to win this game, in my opinion. They have a lot of ways to peel off of this Engage, take advantage of what they have as a composition. The question is, can they?
We'll have to wait and see if they can. We are into the game, ladies and gentlemen. We have got a little bit of a pause to begin with, because, you know, that's just how it goes. But it gives us a little bit more time to try and dissect these team compositions and see what they're doing. Poppy versus Riven, as I've already said, I think that's quite a Poppy-favoured matchup. Is that something you'd agree with, being like a bigger brain player than I do? Or do you think there's a little bit more to the matchup than simply Poppy can shut down a lot of what Riven wants to attempt to do in an aggressive way?
Okay, so I'm going to help explain my big brain thinking with some small brain language. Riven, go in. Poppy, press W. Riven, ow. There you go. That's my
That's
poem.
good. That's good analysis.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
delicious.
I really tried. But that's how that matchup's got to go, really. I mean, Kodo does have a lot of mastery points in this Riven. 365,000 mastery stat and all that shebang in there. But into a Poppy, it is a really tough matchup. Now, it isn't impossible. I've played the Poppy into this matchup and managed to get smashed somehow. I don't know. So Kodo does have outplay potential. It's just being aware of that cooldown, because as soon as that steadfast presence is blocked, pretty much all of Riven's abilities just cannot be used at that point, because he's just going to get bonked off of her.
And grounded with the new changes to Poppy. So
yeah.
That's going to be even worse. And then if Awaken's playing right, you've got a little bit of move speed from that W as well. He can maybe try and find the wall hit, where he's going to charge her into the wall, get a stun, get a Q, and then the damage, it's all onto Kodo, because he's not going to be able to put any down, because he's going to be grounded and then hit into a wall and stunned. That's an interesting matchup. Awaken should win it, theoretically.
Theoretically, yes.
But
you have to keep...
with Kodo being very good.
Yeah, you know, who knows? You know, I'm excited to see how that goes, because Kodo could win this matchup, and if he does, we have to emphasize that is a huge thing for him, to be able to outplay such a tough matchup. However, unfortunately for us, there are actually 4 other matchups that we can also talk about whilst the pause is going on. And we talked about the bot lane quite extensively in Champ Select, but that mid lane is something I really want to touch on, because, like you said, it's like a top lane in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Because we've got the Kled, who has been seeing a lot more play recently around the top lane, and sometimes even the mid lane. But we have Omena on this Irelia, a lot of outplay potential. And so what I'm expecting to see is Omena have the early priority in lane. He has the Ignite, he's able to dip and dodge with the Q. But then as soon as that level 6 hits, Kled becomes a little bit like a Twisted Fate, in the sense that he can charge into any lane he wants to on the map. And that's the power of a Kled mid. Omena can have all the priority he wants, but as soon as he backs off, Mr. Battalion gets to push, and then all of a sudden, Yushi Lumi being pushed up, that's going to have to end when Kled presses his ultimate button. Or, all of a sudden, top lane, Awaken's getting a little bit too aggressive, Mr. Battalion uses his ultimate there, and then he can gank there and do really well. So, for me, that level 6 pass back in the mid lane, the biggest thing, because Mr. Battalion could really impact the rest of the map if he's able to use his ultimate well.
We are in the game, ladies and gentlemen, now. The pause has been unpaused, and now we're seeing EUS looking to get an invade on all 5 members and moves toward the top side, but they will be spotted out by Awaken. They're now moving down river. People have to be careful for Royal Reapers. Of course, it is EUS on that blue side, Royal Reapers on the red side. This is week 10. This is an important game for both of these teams. The chase for playoffs is very much on. Royal Reapers have maybe a little bit of an advantage in this race with 1 less loss than EUS, but both of these teams is still all to play for, as we might see Impi looking for a little bit more, but nothing's really going to happen. The invade not occurring.
Okay, so we haven't talked about the Shen jungle, and I feel like that's a little bit of a disservice to the pick, because that's certainly the most surprising one. I don't know how this is going to fare, to be honest. I think he has to build Tiamat early to get his clear speed up, but at the start, he's going to be quite slow in the jungle, I imagine, unless he wants to try and play a more gank-focused style, which could work. I mean, he does have that taunt available to him if he chooses to use it. But I just don't see him clearing a lot of these camps fast enough, and I think Sejuani could certainly have the advantage, at least early on, in terms of the pathing.
It's mad that in this game, the Bard pick is one of the least weird picks we've got over on the side of the US. And that's something we never see. Like this, normally a Bard pick would be like, whoa, this is mental. But when it's alongside a Shen jungle, a Kled mid, and a Sway marksman, it's kind of just like, eh. Like,
and the wackiest is driven into Poppy, just to clarify.
The fact is that is the weirdest pick of all. But that is what you get for having last pickers. We just see a bit of a trade in mid lane, and Meta putting down some damage. But of course, Kled's going to be able to return that. He's going to be quite happy taking those trades right now, because he can do a decent amount of damage. He's quite survivable as well. So, Meta might have to be a little bit careful there.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, although bear in mind, does have the Ignite, so if they... I mean, the aim for Meta here is to try and dismount the Talon. Then at that point, you could start really abusing him when he doesn't have all of his abilities available to use, and that's when you can go in with the Ignite, with the All-In, easily get the kill. It's just trying to get Kled down to that point is kind of difficult when he does have a lot of those abilities available. Like you see, he's quite low right now, and if Meta went in, it would have got the dismount there, but it's all depending on what he wants to do. Because also the CS lead in the mid lane going well for Meta right now, despite the fact that has been getting the best of some of the trades.
Yeah, it's so important for Mena to be able to get Kled off of Skull because of the ability changes. Aurelia's gone for Conqueror, but the healing from Conqueror isn't really going to fly with the Grievous Wounds that Mr. Bottling can apply with his Bear Trap on a stick, because now it's a gross Bear Trap, which infects
Look
people.
at the amount of people around mid. Oh, baby!
Oh, baby. I'm watching bot, apparently, though, according to my direct camera. Imbi's being chased away. Amena did get stunned on the tower, but did manage to get away. No summon is used by either side in that engage, so clearly good positioning from Amena, but it was more important that we saw Imbi take a little bit of damage from Ku in the bot side.
Yeah, that is very important to have a look at, because you would expect in the 2v1, it wouldn't be Q coming out, but currently it is. He's doing very well for himself, and oh, there we go.
Less
Never
so
mind.
now, but
I will eat my words.
It's cast the curse, but yeah, Imbi and One Last Uru need to bully Ku really hard when Miguelico is out and about on his walkies, because that's where you get the push off, that's where you try and get some plates, that's where you can try and maybe get a kill onto the Swain. As Amena, once again, being forced away from Mr. Bottling in that mid side, Awaken and Kodo, not too much going on top.
Yeah, not much happening right now. It's actually the Rhythm with an 8 CS lead, which is decent for this time of the game. Obviously, not going to sway huge amounts of gold there right now, but there's signs for things to come. Kodo's doing quite well, considering this is supposed to be a really tough matchup for him.
But you've got to remember that Awaken, honestly, on the Poppy, you're not going to be looking to do much damage later, as Amena's going very, very low in the mid lane. No mana either. The Ignite comes down, flashes from both. Mr. Bottling is going to be unforced as we see Karaka Wonderboy coming in from the side. There's not going to be a kill there as Amena goes back under his inner, and now Kled might actually be in trouble being chased down by Karaka Wonderboy on that Sejuani. Not going to be able to catch, though, as we jump around the map to see what's going on elsewhere, but that was so close to being a kill bot side for both teams.
It certainly was. What a great mid lane duel I just watched of all those flashes away. Very, very exciting. Mr. Lieutenant unfortunately not able to secure that kill, but does have the teleport advantage, and that's incredibly key. Amena, but both of the summoners there just to survive, isn't going to have the Ignite for that aggression, whereas Mr. Patelin still has the teleport. I mean, he can just back right now, chill, and then possibly look for a TP gank somewhere alongside his ultimate. The global ability of this Kled is going to be huge.
Look at Dackel. He is awaiting, trying to get a gank on this bot side. Bard isn't about. He's actually behind. He's going to look for the stun. Imbi gets ignited, and it's going to be slowed. The stun does not land, though, as Imbi's looking to get away. The zoomies might be enough to keep him alive, but now the damage is being turned on to EUS. But here comes the Dragboard, the route onto Imbi. But here comes Crackle Wonderboy looking to get some damage down, looking to get some CC. Won't be enough, though. It's going to be forced away as we move top for a little exchange. Bard looking low, but no one's falling just yet. But this has been a pretty quick start for both teams.
It certainly has been, but no kills still happening on either side. But what I want to say, great flash right in me to escape what could have been a very, very deadly situation for him. However, thing to note is that flash being away. There's no Yumi flash either, so no mobility really left for Imbi and one last Ubu in this lane. So if they get caught out one more time, that could be it. But Magalko
going so low, but it's going to be first one turn round with Swain. And now one last Ubu is going to try and float away, but not the quickest cat. Rooted down, will take damage. Not going to be able to get a kill back, so might fall. No mana left for Zoomies. This could easily be a double for Ku, but one flash is going to be not enough. He's going to fall to tower. One last Ubu, turning it around. The TV back bot from Imbi wasn't needed in the end, and that's a 1-for-1 trade. But crucially, it was Ku with first blood.
Oh man, that is unlucky. Also, sorry for taking away your play-by-play at the start.
No worries. You could
got a bit excited, but what I do want to talk about, I am very excited about. You know, usually CS leads at the start of the game, not really too important. But look at this bot lane, okay? Ku's done a good job at 1v2ing and putting up the damage, right? And you just have that first blood. But look at the CS differential. That is 28 CS in favor of Lucian right now. And that means that despite the first blood going over to Ku and Imbi having no kill participation, the gold is still leading.
Yeah, he's going to be rooted up and taking a decent amount of damage there as well. But Awaken trying to turn around onto Kodo, throwing that buckler out. Because there could be a fight in this top lane very, very soon. Both of them looking pretty low, and Caracal Wonderboy is sniffing around.
He's sniffing around, but unable to find anything for himself on Mena.
Mena needs to be careful, and Mena's going to go low, but so is Bard. He's going to get a return kill. Doesn't get the stun, though. Mr. Botman is going to be unhorsed and might be in trouble here. Mena's jumping around. The ultimate from Crackle Wonderboy saves a Mena and grabs the kill. That's 2 mid for Raw Reapers.
That is insane. Great play by Omena. They're surviving by the skin of his teeth. He's a 1-0-1 now, and now he's going to start snowballing. Going to start to evolve his CS lead now, or just back and reset. You know, fine. Screw my analysis. Who needs that? You have a fight like that. Great play by Caracal. Sorry, I can't say his name. Caracal Wonderboy. There we go. I got it. Yes.
Yes. Nice.
And he was there just at the right time for the counter. There. Very, very good by him, allowing Omena to get those kills. But that is so important, because now Mr. Vitellion, see that he's burnt his teleport, so he's burnt his ultimate. He has no global pressure right now in his club, which was a pick that we were expecting to have a lot of global pressure.
No, Menem even missed the stun in that trade, so it was so crucial that Sejuani was there. But Aurelia now going to have that kill and that assist. Is going to be super scary in this fight. Crackle Wonderboy is looking for seconds. Will be able to get the last ore and the stun down. We're going to see a dismounting, but Mr. Botlin isn't going to be taken down today. He's looking to chase forward, though, trying to get those stacks off to get back on the pony. But Imbi looking to be a bit in trouble. Looks to turn around with the final chapter. Gets the root down on the ball. He's going to be pulled down and taken down. Ku now going to have to move under tower to stay alive himself. But that's another kill for Royal Reapers, and currently they're looking the better of the two teams.
Oh, they certainly are. Royal Reapers playing so proactive across the map, starting to use all their advantages very, very well. We got to go 0-2-1 now on this bar. The pick not exactly working out for him, unfortunately, and Imbi just being able to play so aggressive in this lane. Look at this.
Look at the ultimate, though. Dakor is coming in, and the taunt will land onto Imbi, who's going to go low, going to go down. And now there's not much escaping for Yumi. Might like to jump away onto Crackle Wonderboy, who comes to pick up her kids from the pool and is taking them home. Only 1 kill return for EUS. Very nice play again from Crackle Wonderboy. Right place at the right time is the only way to describe this guy right now.
Yeah, Decor's fantastic. Stand United there also helping turn that fight very well for Ku. The thing is, I'm still worried about that CS differential. Whilst Ku's been playing well mechanically, it's just, you can't be that far behind in CS. It's just meaning that despite the fact you're getting these kills, it's doing well, you're still behind in gold. And that really, really does worry me. And that's why I'm not the biggest fan of the APCs typically, because you are going to lose out on things like CS, especially when you have a Bard in your lane who's going to be going and having a chill time in the river or in the mid lane and just leaving you all the time, you know?
A dragon was picked up though, so EUS did manage to get their first dragon on the board. It is a mountain, so that's going to be very nice for looking to take these objectives. You'd think that maybe Raquel might be a target, but this is going to be a full-out fight in the mid lane. The ultimate will land on to Shen, who's going pretty low, not attacking yet as a meta.
No.
Will not be able to auto-attack, does get taunted, does go down. Now Cracker Wonderboy is going to look to get the damage. Look at Awaken coming in from the side. Dracor is going to get out, but Mr. Bottling needs to be careful. Might get stunned up, will get stunned up. The ultimate comes in from Awaken. Double kill over to Cracker Wonderboy, but now Kodo's there, cuts down one. Awaken gets the return, flashing away, and now the chase is on. Yumi is turning up, but Awaken's already gone low. The heal comes in from Yumi, and now the zoom will come. Kodo's in trouble. The final chapter has been written, and Awaken might look to pick up this kill. He will grab it. That is another for Royal Reapers. They win the fight 3-4-2 across the board as people start respawning.
That was a bit of a fiesta, I'll be perfectly honest, but it was a fun fiesta to watch, and that's the important thing. Omena unfortunately goes down at the start of the fight and not really reaping a huge amount of the rewards. However, after that, I mean, the tank duo of Awaken and Karka Wonderboy was absolutely fantastic, able to dive that tower with ease, and even with Kodo's really good flank, he's only able to secure one kill for himself. However, there has been a disconnect, so as I'm getting really excited about this game, guys want to pause.
We're going to slow it
there
down.
We go.
We just got to slow it down. A couple of connection issues over on the side of Royal Reapers, but hopefully we'll get back into it very, very soon. But that was an absolutely mad fight. It was all action. There were ultimates being blown, summoners being used. It was insane.
Yeah, what else do you want? What more do you want from League of Legends, really, than huge action fights in the mid-game? That's exactly what I want to see. And no, this does give us a little bit of breathing room, though. It's just, have that breathe in and breathe out. It has been quite a chaotic game so far. 12 kills in 11 minutes. A lot of fighting going on. But I guess it's time to analyze the states of each lane, because we can have a look at what we said in Champs League. So, first of all, Riv and Poppy. Poppy, we were expected to have a huge advantage this matchup. However, you look at the CS differential, it's still Kodo coming out quite strong there. And the gold's still in favor of Poppy, thanks to the kills that happened at the end of that fight. But it's actually been quite an even lane for what we were expecting to be a tough one for Kodo.
Yeah, Kodo's been looking good in lane into this Poppy. Awaken hasn't been as aggressive as maybe you'd think. But I think Kodo as well hasn't been jumping in aggressively, because if you don't aggress onto Poppy, you don't really give her the opportunity to be getting those stuns and to be getting that damage rotation onto you. So pretty smart play from Kodo. Sadly, Awaken is now more in the game thanks to that team fight, as we're going to see a bit of a gag in the mid lane. Amena gets the stun though, and that's going to be a lot of damage. Bard going golden with the ultimate, but the TP coming in on the side. Dako is coming in as well as Miguel goes low. Awaken has jumped in and tries to get the stun off. Will not land though, as Dako will be in trouble. Cracker Wonderboy has turned up. Amena gets the kill on the side, and now Awaken's going to look to chase Shen into the jungle. The Doctor is out though, as Awaken might look to get a tackle. Does get the tackle, does get the stun, does get the kill, as now Mr. Bottling should be alright, to be honest, under this tower. He's got quite a lot of health, but that's more kills over on the side of Royal Reapers, and you can't keep giving these away, US.
Yeah, you really can't. And for a composition that I was expecting to do a lot of... Oh, I can't speak, never mind.
There's a jewel in the mid lane. Mr. Bottling getting the better of the Crackle Wonderboy, still in the neighbour. Looking bot, Imby's trying to get another plate down as we get the stun on the tower. Mr. Bottling going to be unscarred, but will be able to get away. The stun again not landing. Amena's going to walk away from that one.
Yeah, and there's a lot of advantages being built across this top side of the map. You see Awaken, Karaka, Wonderboy, and Omena, 301, 312, and 214 respectively. They're all doing very well, but eyes on bot lane.
Be careful there. The final chapter being used just to disengage. I think Rory's bot lane will be fine, but that's what you can do in that bot lane. As we see SQ1 coming in onto Mr. Botlane. There's no assistance though, so it's just a 1v1. He's going to get back on Skarl and will be able to chase forward. SQ1 might be in trouble here, having to use the ultimate to try and disengage and get away, but the ultimate is going to be returned by the Kled. SQ1 running down, will be run down and will be taken down. That's a shutdown going over to the Kled, and that's exactly what you need to get back into this one.
Look at all the people hanging around top lane though. Ooh, this could be exciting.
You'd think there'd be a fight up there, and there's the ultimate coming in from Amanda, who's jumped onto Dako, who will look to use the blast cone to get to safety and will blast Aurelia away. So that might be the disengage that both teams need to not have a massive scrap up by Raquel.
Yeah, and that fight going the way of Mr. Battalion so important. Also him getting out means that finally he finds himself an advantage in this lane.
That's a nice Bard ult. The Shen ult is going to come in to keep him alive, as well as Imby's going to look to Carl backwards. Dako is turning up as a 3v2 as the flash is used by Imby to avoid being rooted and dragged back in. Amena's
He's
coming in
looking
from the
for
side, though. He's looking for it. The slow comes onto Q. The stun comes onto 2. And Indy's going to look to get a damage down. Dakor going low, but now Amena's taking tower aggro. Will be able to get away with the help of Uwu, but it's not going to be enough to keep Imbi alive. That's a 1-for-1 trade in that bot lane as Crack and Wonderboy now with a bit more health, looking to get onto Kled. Nothing's going to happen, though, as things are going to quieten down just a little bit, you'd think. But pushing now, Raw Reapers are pushing across the board.
Yeah, and this... Oh, teleport bot lane. I don't get to have analysis. Who needs that?
Who needs analysis in a game like this?
Throw it out the window.
Ooh, that's a double stun there. That's pretty nice. As Amena is looking a bit in trouble there. He's going to be able to use the blast plant to get to safety. And let's try and sneak in a little bit of analysis before the next fight.
Oh, right. Here we go. Okay, so looking at the matchups right now, you know, CS lead bot lane still pretty monstrous for the Lucian here, but the Goldie staying even thanks to a few of the kills going the way of Q. Mid lane is still the point I want to focus on because Omena is doing so well for himself, and it's actually him who's doing the roaming. We're expecting Fed to have the little pressure with the teleport, with the charge, but he hasn't really used that, and that's my biggest worry for Battalion is that he's had a good game in terms of the 1v1. He's been able to get a kill for himself back, but he hasn't used any of the global tools that he has to be able to make any plays happen, and that worries me a lot because I feel like the kind of clock for him to start using that global pressure is starting to run out a little bit. I mean, we're 15.5 minutes into the game. The laning phase is going to be over relatively soon, so it's not going to be longer until having that global pressure doesn't mean a huge amount in terms of getting advantages in the lane. It's going to be more bringing your teams up.
Right, in the bot lane, there is the final trap that has been used as 2 supports go gold, and Miguel is now going to be fighting onto Imbi, but Ku is the one who is in trouble and goes down initially. Imbi now might look to chase, but more likely going to look to try and get that tower down. They don't have the biggest minion wave, but that would be first brick. Going over to Raw Reapers at the 15-minute mark. A little bit slower than some games we've seen in terms of tower taking, but Dragon might also be on the menu.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I mean it is only a Cloud Drake. I believe if my one quick glance solves it serves me correctly.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nice.
but look at the top lane. Whilst the dragon is happening, we see EUS very smartly making a play on the other side of the map. Are going to be securing that Rift Herald for themselves. The question is, can they when everyone else is starting to grip mid?
Whether there'll be a contest or whether it will just be a push mid is yet to be seen. Cracker one by certainly moving into the neighborhood. Awakens there, so they know it's happening. It will fall. It hasn't been taken yet, though. The eye is still sitting there as EUS are going to be shepherded away. Are they going to look to make the great pickup and try and get to the eye? Or are they just going to lose out on that objective because they've taken it off the board for Raw Reapers? Dakor going for it. He's going to get stunned up, though. He's looking to try and man mode it in. He's going to talk onto it. He has grabbed it and might go down for his troubles. This fight is breaking out all fronts. People going low. Dakor and Cracker Wonderboy on the side. And it's going to be Sejuani winning that trade. Awaken has to flash away. And now Mr. Botlin looking for an assassination, looking to get back on the horse and will be able to get over the wall. Looking to be killed by Amena, though, who's going to be able to dash over and grab that one. Raw Reapers grabbed 2 in the fight, but Dakor did get the eye.
Yeah, I was about to say cue the Indiana Jones theme as he tries to jump into the back there, but unfortunately didn't get the chance to make a little funny joke there as, you know, another fight kicks off. Come on, man.
That's fine. It's just the support. It's going to be pretty routine. He's going to go down. Nothing we haven't seen before.
Oh, man, I'm not allowed now. This game, but
Should
I'm
I
not
just solo cast this? Like, do you want to go, like, get a drink and then come back?
Yeah, I might as well, to be honest. This game's action-packed. This is the living embodiment of action, man. If you remember the little figurine that you used to have as a kid, like, everyone had Action Man.
True.
This is Action Man, the game. You're just everywhere, all action. And I'm not complaining because that's a 4-1-5 Irelia popping off in this game. Omena's been doing so much damage in these fights. It's had a huge impact, and his ability to just dip and dive in and out, it's just been so hard to deal with for EUS, who want to really stick on one target.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Swain Claw, which is important for Amena and important for a lot of people in this game because there is still engaged tools for EUS and there's nothing you can do to take that away from them. We're yet to see a massive team fight where EUS are the engagers. The only one we've seen was around Rift Herald, really, and a bit around Dragon as well. But if they can get the engage on, fights will turn, and you would think maybe in their favor. But Raw Reapers, they've got a massive lead, and all of their carries are looking pretty good this game. So it'll be interesting to see whether EUS win fights that they take in their own way rather than having to be reactive.
Yeah, the question is, can they really force a fight now? I mean, they still have a lot of tools. They have the Claire, the Bard, the Shen, etc. But I don't know if you feel safe forcing a fight now when you know there are such strong champions in the enemy team with huge item advances, such as the one we see.
That's just disgusting. That's the first kill very, very quickly. And now Swain might go down, but that's a nice ultimate from Dakor. It won't be enough, though. And now Shen is going to have to get his tail between his legs and get out. Awaken's going to be forcing Kodo away from his own tower as well as we move down. Mr. Bottling going low off of Skull. Going to have to look to remount, but the flash might be enough. Dakor comes in for the emotional support, but now might find his doom. He is going to go low. He might go down. The last shot from him. He gets it. And then on the side, grabs the kill onto Kled and Skull. Anyway, only understanding is Kodo. He's in the top side, and Royal Reapers, what can they get from this?
A mid tower, a bot tower, and possibly another objective. That's what they're going to get from it. You see the Lucian able to push down so much in this mid lane. Actually want to get that bot down and not think about it, but no one seems to be going to contest Omena, which is certainly odd. I'd be expecting at least one person to go down, especially when mid lane has been held now, but, you know, no one going and catching that wave makes you a little bit sad. But once again, it comes down to CS numbers, and actually if Ku went there and just caught a bit of CS for himself, because he needs to, because he's not only is he losing out now in kills, which is where he was winning originally, but now the CS lead is extended to about 50. He needs to get control of that, really, because you can't be having that.
You can't, and it doesn't look great across the board in terms of CS. The mid lane losing by about 20 for EUS. Yes, you're winning in the top side, and very marginally in the jungle, but when it's free minions, it doesn't really matter. But you're losing mid lane in farm, and Omena's running a riot throughout team fights and winning these duels very easily. You're losing in bot side, and Imbi's putting out so much damage. And Mr. Bottling and Ku, they've kind of been non-factors for the longest part in this game right now. Yes, Ku got a couple of early kills, but he hasn't done very much since. And Dakor as well, the jungle Shen, while some of the ultimates have been very clutch, they haven't really stopped his team from losing these fights. They only really helped early in the 1v1s and 2v2s.
Yeah, and the thing is that also it isn't just a case of one or two champions being irrelevant on the US. I'd say that whole team pretty much has been irrelevant. I mean, the Revan hasn't really done much. Had that one flank, and that was it. Shen hasn't done much in terms of, like, he's had a few good ultimates, and that's about it, like you said. Kled hasn't been able to have any global pressure when we were expecting him to have a lot of it. Miguelko just keeps getting picked off as so.
Oh, I'm just going to wait for it to come down. He actually managed to escape, but Ku now might be in trouble. This might have turned into a pick on someone else. Both of them going to be able to escape, but Ku, Miguelko, he's just getting caught out. He's 0-6.
Yeah, that you can't be having, like, and the Swain's done nothing really either. The whole team just hasn't been able to have the pressure that you'd be expecting with their team, and that's causing them to lose out, you know. That none of their matchups have really gone the way they wanted to, and goes back to what I said, the champs of that. They drafted 3 losing matchups, arguably, and that has come to fruition now. You don't have any winning matchups, you don't have any priority over the map, and now it's on Royal Reapers. How much can they take from this? How many objectives can they secure? Because what I didn't realize is they didn't even get that mid tower down in that last fight.
Royal Reapers didn't get anything off the last fight except for the money they got from the bodies, but as we just saw there, Rift Tower dropped mid by EUS, didn't even get a charge off onto the tower, didn't even get close, it was just cut down, and now Royal Reapers are going to look to get their second dragon of the game. There's going to be no contest over it. It's an ocean, which means they're going to be very happy in these siege positions, where EUS already looking pretty weak.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about this game is that there are picks like Red Mid and Shen Jungle and the Swain. They're decent picks, but they don't need to be in the positions that they are. Like, imagine if instead of Shen Jungle, it was Shen Top. Would have been suddenly looking at a better draft. Like, the Kled Mid hasn't done much thanks to, like, if you're mid, you need to be using that position to its advantage. And the thing is that, well, like, Mr. Pretender might have been playing top lane Kled because he hasn't used his global pressure. Like, there's been a lot of these things that they brought these champions into some wacky positions, like the Shen Jungle, the Kled Mid, etc., the Swain ADC, but they haven't used the advantages that you get from each of the champions being in those positions. And now Ku,
he's going golden, but he should fall. Imbi should be able to get enough damage to bring Swain down. Will be able to, but the ultimate from SQ1 will miss. meaning that Miguelico can get away if he doesn't stick around. Caracal is going to be happy to attack that. We're seeing towers falling across the map right now. Absolutely demolition derby over on the side of Royal Reapers as they pick up a nice kill and get some objectives for it.
Yeah, now EUS is going to be stuck playing a tower defense game, unfortunately. Not any fun League of Legends for them. They've fallen too far behind, and now they just need to wait for a Royal Reapers player to start overextending, because that can certainly happen. I mean, Omena could get a little bit bigger for his boots, flash in, all of a sudden he's on his own, he gets killed. But I don't know if you can make any sort of proactive play now as EUS, because there are too many strong members from Royal Reapers. They seem unstoppable right now.
And they're now going to move the siege down to the bot side. EUS aren't going to be that great at just standing and defending. They have to engage in order to do anything because they don't have poke. You have Bard and you have Swain, but the other three members of your team, in order to poke, have to go in, which isn't really poke when you think about it. And now the tower is going to be engaged on. It's already pretty low, and it's just going to fall. Amena looking to get the stun up. Will be able to catch onto Bard, who again just falls. He's not going to have any say in this team fight right now as Amena picks up that one. And now Royal Reapers, they can choose. They want to push bot. Do you want to go mid? Do you want to peel off and maybe go for Baron, or just reset? Because, again, little overextension from the Bard. He falls down. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, and the thing is, at this point, because Bard's worth nothing, I'd have said using the Glacial Prison there is actually kind of a waste. Because then you're using a huge cooldown there. And Miguelico, I don't think is going to have any sort of impact in these fights. I mean, he has a Redemption, he has the Bard Ultimate. He has a few things he can use, but it's just... he's so squishy that if he tries to do anything, he just gets popped, as we saw there, so... this bar pick really not working out, and it means that now the priority has moved over to Royal Reapers. They're starting to get a little bit of control around this Baron pit, and they've started the setup. They've brought Poppy down to the bot lane with that teleport available. They're getting mid lane priority now. They're starting to push out a little bit top lane. They're going for that 4-1 setup that you typically want to do when you're looking for a Baron. Royal Reapers playing it textbook. We'll see if they're able to execute.
It was important for them to disengage from that pick as well, because they weren't playing around where any objectives could be picked up, and that's been kind of endemic for Royal Reapers in this game and in the season as large. They do tend to do pretty well in fights, and they do manage to get advantages in there, but they can't then turn them into objectives as often as you'd like from a top team. So it's going to be important for them to be able to pick up the Baron on their next fight win, or pick up a good push and get a tower, because you can win fights for hours and hours and hours, but if you don't take any objectives, you don't win the game.
I just wanted to say start the Baron. They keep kind of hovering around it and just pushing in lanes. Just start it. You're going to win that fight. Riven's bot lane. If GTB's in, you've got control of that away could TP onto. You win that fight. Be confident. Just go for the Baron now. There's no need to hesitate. And now you've given EUS time to come there. Like, this is the issue of Royal Reapers. It's indecisiveness here.
Engaged, so Amena's going to be engaged on him. He's going to go pretty low, but he's going to have that stair game available. Mr. Bottling is going to be forced to dash away as Ku gets his ultimate off. Imbi's going to be putting out a lot of damage on the backline. Look at this Lucian just dodging around, but Bard manages to pick up the first kill of the fight. And now Imbi's going to be in trouble, having to look to get away. Gets the kill onto Mr. Bottling. Is going to look to lifesteal. No last Uwu is going to have to jump back on, but is going to fall alongside his companion. No, he's not. He's going to jump onto Amena. The ultimate coming in from Shen as Awakening and Kodo are still on that bot side. Amena is going to have to run for the hills. He doesn't win this 2v3 with the cat on his back. Let's get a stun. Nice two-man stun there. But will he be able to get anything off it? He's going to be taunted up and is going to be forced away. He's going to look to do some guerrilla warfare right now, stopping the backs as Awaken's moving up to try and join the fight. Going to take the magical journey away as Awaken's looking for the collapse. Amena now on the hunt, looks for the stun. Will land the slow as well, dominating onto the Bard as Awaken and Kodo join the fight. The ultimate comes in from Awaken, sending Riven packing. Amena jumps in, gets the double straight onto Swain, and now they're going to look to disengage. Baron could still be on the menu. Awaken is now there, but that was messy. In EUS, we saw the engage.
Yeah. Once again, like, imagine if instead of already being sat top lane ready to be collapsing, they're all at Baron. All of a sudden, you're not seeing Onwena having to dip and dodge out. You're not seeing Imbi get caught out. You're seeing the whole team there. Like, I'm not a fan of them just kind of sitting around and doing nothing, because now what you're doing is giving EUS time to get back into the game, but it's not really securing much for yourself. I mean, you're going to be able to get this Mountain Dragon, but I mean, it's a Mountain Dragon at this point.
Looking to contest. 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 Looking to
yeah, at this point it isn't really relevant. Like, you have 3 dragons for yourselves, but now it's the time to get a Baron, start pushing your lead, get those huge advantages. I mean, I know this is quite a bit of a skill jump, but you look at a team like G2, and when they get an advantage, they don't just get an advantage and sit around with it and kind of try and force EUS to make play. No, they'd go make plays themselves. They'd go secure just, and then at that point, it isn't just them sitting around waiting for EUS to mess up. It's they're forcing those mistakes out, and that's the important thing. Now they're on the Baron. This is a good proactive move that I like to see, and they're very likely going to win the ensuring fight as well.
Dacor wasn't even able to get over to try and contest. Now the final chapter will land onto Swain, likely to be the sacrificial lamb there. The ultimate from Bard will keep him alive a little bit longer. Redemption coming in. The stun will actually miss once again from Mena as he uses his own stopwatch to go golden again. He is just a statue in this team fight, but will finally fall. But now look on the side. Bard fell down off camera. Mena is legendary and has the cat on his back. It looks like this could be the play that Royal Reaper need. They've got Baron. They've picked 2. Could this be the game?
Yes, it should be the game is all I will preface this with. But we'll see what Kodo Decor and Mr. Battalion can pull off, as it is going to be a 5v3 in their base with Baron buff minions and knocking on their turrets. But it's now or never, you know, they could still pull something out the back. We'll have to see if they're able to. Oh, wait, no. Royal Reapers just want to reset. That makes it sad.
They didn't have the biggest minion wave, to be fair to them, but you could have maybe thought they maybe pushed for a little bit more. They are moving bots, so they're not going for the full reset, and then it's moving top. They're trying to create pressure in 2 different waves, which is nice.
I like that setup, sure. After it works, I guess. It's just I feel like they could have done a lot better. There's a charge coming through though.
Engage coming bot. The charge comes on the Caracal though, as we're going to see him ejected from the fight. You're not allowed in here with those shoes, sir. As Awaken now looking to shepherd away. Mena on the top side gets a free tower for himself. Now Royal Reaper's going to keep the pressure up. The fight has to come pretty soon from EUS, or else they're just going to be hemorrhaging too much to come back from. Awaken looks for the engage himself, and will get it onto Mr. Bottlin, but Mr. Bottlin is going to get the kill on to Yuumi. The ultimate will land onto 2, and now Awaken's the only person who's free to try and escape. Karaka Wonderboy pretty tanky, but against 4 members going golden. Going to have to be careful there. The Cannon is still chipping away. And Mena's on the side. He's in the base. He's looking for a Nexus Tower, looking for a stun. Will land it, but now he's just going to be dogpiled, and he's going to go down. Guardian Angel shouldn't be enough to save him long term, as a Mena looking to dash away. Takes tower shot, will go down. But it gives enough time for the tower to fall. Bot, they kill Bard again. They might look for 2 as well. Will he land it? He will, as Imbi's looking to dance away. For EUS, clean up on the backside, killing everyone else on Royal Reapers. And now Imbi, last man with Baron, looking to escape.
I don't like, I feel like Royal Reapers are they're too scared, they are very scared of EUS right now. You see it when they're like, okay, they might all 5 be up, we need to be very careful pushing into their base. Oh, you don't. Look at those champions, they do nothing to you. Other than now the Riven, who got fed after that fight, you could have easily gone in there and won that fight. Don't tell me you couldn't have. And the issue is now that they're being very cautious of their advantage, whilst that can work, and you saw it back in like earlier seasons where it would choke teams out. At this point, I have to worry for them, because now all of a sudden Kodo is 50 TSF on his lane opponent and is 5-1. Like, that wouldn't have happened if you would just took fights earlier, I feel like. And that's the big difference between, I think, Royal Reapers and the top teams in this league, is that they seem to be lacking that decisiveness that's indicative of a top team.
They've lost Baron. They didn't get as much of it as you'd have wanted. And one thing that I do want to pinpoint is One Last Uru was the first person to die from Royal Reapers in that fight. This is a Yuumi. Yuumi shouldn't be getting picked. Yuumi shouldn't be targetable in the early stages of a fight. And he was the first one to go down, so big question mark pings there.
Yeah, certainly is. And now, what I like to see here is that they're all grouped up together. They've got a bot lane push nicely going. They know that mid lane inhibitor has that down, so it's going to keep pushing themselves. And all they got to do now is fight them 5-on-5, because you win that fight. Just do it.
Looks like the fight is going to be forced out. The last chapter comes through. That was engaged by the Claire as we see members jumping in. Everyone's going golden. Imbi jumping out the backside. Going to use the cull. But a lot of members of Royal Reapers going low. Karaka Wonderboy goes down first. Will trade onto the Bard though. as we see a massive cluster with Imbi off the side, poking and popping. But EUS come out of that fight with 4 members alive. Imbi and one last Uwu, the only members surviving, and you've got to ask questions of Royal Reapers now. They're looking in trouble.
They certainly are, and my goodness, I mean, if there's one way to redeem a 2-11 game, it's through that play there. Fantastic use of the Tempered Fate. Stalls out that fight for long enough as to where that redemption can start coming down. Q can start charging up his own ultimate in the Demonic Ascension, and Kodo is able to get that backline dive going, culminating in a perfect fight for EUS, and all of a sudden they're back in this game. And now all of a sudden that advantage that Royal Reapers had, that massive strong grip that they had in the game, it's faltering, and they're gonna have to look to do something soon, because the longer this game goes on, the more even the more even the teams get. There's a big worry now that it might be that Royal Reapers just fall too far behind and they weren't able to take control of their advantage. Like, it's a worry.
It is pretty stunning that Royal Reapers arguably could have ended the game already, but they haven't. They weren't decisive enough. They're setting up a death brush now. I don't know if Royal Reapers win these team fights now, because you're seeing EUS, when they take initiative and when they go in, as we've wanted Royal Reapers to do for the past like 10 minutes or so, they win these team fights. And now Royal Reapers, they're trying to sneak in, they're trying to get engaged themselves. Dakor is top. You need to get the pick.
Yeah, you do, but it's not gonna happen. And this is starting to be a little bit sad to watch. The thing is, I mean, if Omega does get a fight where he's able to be untouched, or like Imbi is able to be untouched, then all of a sudden the fight completely changes, the concept changes, and that's when Royal Reapers win. But we have to be so careful now, because of this Riven, who was a complete non-factor early game, by the way, where you expect Riven to be strong, is now 8-1, has 4.5 items to her name. You cannot disrespect Kodo now. You just cannot, because he'll jump on your face and he will destroy you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
One thing that's still quite important though is EUS, they're still not looking too good in terms of pushing these towers down. They haven't really got siege. They need to be engaging to be doing things, and there's still a long way to go between them winning a fight and winning the game. We've got a tower taken up top by Dakor as I'm speaking, but they only get the towers really on these split pushes. With Shen up there as well with ultimate. It will be a 5-on-5 if the fight is engaged. And here comes the final chapter. Q was the one engaged on, but he goes gone and is sapping life in that team fight. Look at the stun on the backline though, as Kodo, everyone again stunned up in beyond the backside. Gonna look to get the damage down, but it's just, people are melting on the side of Royal Reapers. Imbi's the first one to be killed, and Awaken's gonna be taken low as well. And Mena goes down. Awaken chased away. Caracal Wonderboy and one last Uwu on the backside. They're on the wrong side of the map, and I don't think they're going to be able to grab anything on the flip. You've got members of EUS moving towards Baron. Royal Reapers, I don't want to say you've thrown this game away, but you might have.
They have. Like, now the Baron goes over to EUS, and if EUS are playing like they are now with a lot more decisiveness, then overall, like, you have thrown this game away. Like, from what could have been, you should have really won when you had the chance. Now you've lost that chance, and EUS are punishing hard.
They looked for a dive. Awaken has to use the ultimate to get out of there, along with the Yuumi being helpful. But now Yumi's in trouble, has to dash away, and they're going to lose this mid tower. They lost top tower, Kodo uncontested, onto the inhibitor tower now, and they're starting to even out objectives. And honestly, Royal Reapers, this is not the way you want to be going. If you lose this game, you can no longer be in that top 2, even with results going your way. And Kodo going to be chased down. He's not going to be able to get enough down, and this could be an important pick for Royal Reapers. The Guardian Angel will be up. Who's going to be able to come in and help? The ultimate from Bar doesn't land onto anyone. Kodo getting a lot of damage down. Will fall unanswered, though. And that's important for Royal Reapers. They now need to do something and fast.
They do, but that pick going down is huge, because look at all the members, 3-5-2, 5-2-7, 2-11, who are still standing from EUS. It is Kodo with the majority of his team's kills. And now all that gold is dead, and it's gone for 40 seconds. This is the point at Royal Reapers. They need to push. They need to get that win, because now they've realized they can't just wait on it. They have to push their advantage, and they have to push it now.
They need to fight with the 4v5. They need to be getting objectives, and Raw Reapers really need to be closing this one out in the next 25 seconds. They're going to get the first inhibitor very, very easily. Stun doesn't land on anyone, though. Ku will be slowed, though. They're moving towards top side. They're looking to get a second inhibitor, not thinking that they can end, not thinking they can take this fight 4v5 even, as they look to get the second objective. The Dakar has gone for the engage. Here comes the redemption. Ku coming in as well, but people are already going solo. Cracker Wonderboy falls down, and Raw Reapers, they're going to have to try and make their way out. They've already lost one member, but they do manage to get 2 inhibitors.
They just lost the fight 4v5. Now, that disappoints me a lot. You can't be losing a fight 4v5 like that, especially then, as we talked about, the strong member, the big key carry for EUS right now wasn't even up. And because of that, you know what's going over to the enemy team? It's going to be the Elder Dragon. There's no one around to contest because the Sedrani, the Semite champion, is dead.
And it's going to melt away. 2 Mountain Drakes are going to make that very easy to take. And now, any chance you have of winning 5v5s is pretty much gone, because you're going to be doing so much damage with that Elder Drake, and you're already winning the fights anyway. So, Raw Reapers, I don't know what they're going to be doing right now, because they're in trouble.
They really, really are. And it has... The big picks, the big players in these teammates are actually, funnily enough, if you ignore the Riven, you've got the Swain in the bar, and they're showing up huge. Tempered Fates have been fantastic from Milgogo despite his early game. And the Ku has had some fantastic uses under the Demonic Ascension. He's getting so much AoE damage all over Royal Reapers. And so now, if you are Royal Reapers, it's to the point where I don't know what you can do if you're them. Like, you've lost your opportunity now. It's really going to have to be based off some sort of pick you're able to get, because you can't take that 5-on-5, especially in a choke point, because Swain's going to pop you, Riven's going to pop you, Bard's going to stun you all up, Shen's going to stun you all up, and you've got a Cloud in your backline. Like, it's such a tough position now. I find it hard to see a Royal Reapers win now. And imagine someone walking up to you 20 minutes ago in this game and saying, "Oh, I don't know about this Royal Reapers win. It's gonna be a real tough one for them." Like, it's such a huge change.
Gonna move Roost up. Is gonna be able to make his way out. I think Royal Reapers now, they need to be looking at objectives and need to be seeing how do we avoid these big fights, because if you've got enough minions crashing into the base, that might be able to just shift the balance a little bit. Baron has run out on EUS. Dragon Elder is still available for them though, so you've got to be a bit careful about fighting them, but it needs to be an overstep from EUS. Royal Reapers need to jump on a pick, they need to dive on it, and they need to be able to get a kill for themselves, because Shen's up top, he's got his ultimate available, but if you can kill someone before the Shen gets into the fight and then disengage, you set yourself up quite nicely.
Yeah, you do indeed. It's just being able to secure that pick, be able to try and force out a mistake, because now I don't know if EUS is going to be the ones to make it. And also keep in mind, those are Elder buffs charging into your team.
In for Kled, he's going to be jumping onto that backline. Mr. Botlin will go golden with the ultimate from Bard, and now Ku's looking to get involved. Imbi's already dead. Raw Reapers are being slaughtered in this last fight. Awakens in the back, still pretty healthy, but has been stunned up, has been taken low, has been taken out. We saw a Mena falling in there as well. Karaka Wonderboy was mid. He didn't want to get too much involved, and we do see Yumi coming off the backside. They lose a Nexus Tower though. Minions might be the MVPs, as we see Mr. Botlin and Riven teleporting top.
Yeah, they have the inhib minions. Actually, you don't have inhib minions. They're trying to push against inhib minions. I'm not so sure that's the best choice, but I know that 3 members of Royal Reapers are down. They are going to push this advantage to the end. As the 3 other members of EUS push down mid, it's going to be a do or die moment now for EUS. Here we go. 41 minutes into the game. Can they secure the win?
They might be able to. The inhib's already gone down. They still got those 2 Mountain Drakes, meaning objectives do get melted. They're going to be forced away though, as Cracker Wonderboy is there. Big Pig going to be stopping any more pushing from them, but Raw Reapers, they need to do more, and they've needed to do more a while ago, which is their problem. Now, as we keep saying, a lack of decisiveness really cost them, and with such a decisive composition from EUS and the way they're playing, you've got to favour them for the win.
Yeah, at this point you do. I mean, I was sat there and saying that the picks are in the wrong positions, but overall, the composition is actually really good now I think about it. I mean, the way they've been executing it in the fight shows that they have practiced this kind of like group of champions beforehand, and it is really paying off for them.
engage. The final chapter only onto the Shen, though the culling doesn't land too much, and Ku's on the back doing a lot of damage. Amena's going to be in real trouble. He's going to be stunned up and going to go down. Swain picking up the kill. There's more kills falling, and EUS are just running over Royal Reapers. They've lost their jungler. They've lost their mid laner. They've surely lost Baron, and if that falls, they've surely lost the game.
Yeah, surely now is going to be it for Royal Reapers. They've lost their two big champions, Sejuani and the Irelia, both away now for 38 seconds. There's going to be a back. But oh, look at this, Royal Reapers, they're looking for a back door.
They're not going to be able to get it with the Baron recalls. They're going to spend a lot just to get the inhibitor bot. They're keeping lines open, but now they might be chased away. And if EUS can catch anyone on the run, then they're going to be looking to just get a quick end. Awaken and Imbi, it's important for them to be able to get out right now as Awaken is being forced away. The final chapter tried to use for a disengage, but Awaken has been stunned. That's surely curtains for the Poppy, regardless of how tanky you are. There's 3 members of EUS there. He's going to turn around and try to get a little bit something, but he won't be able to. Kodo picking up his 11th kill of the game. We already see Dakar up in that top side. Crackle, Wonderboy going to have to clear out those minions, but EUS, this has been a great comeback, but it's really on the doorstep of Royal Reapers.
It certainly is. Now,
Little pause.
Then the pause comes through, but EUS, they're looking so strong now. All of a sudden, they're just winning all these 5v5 fights, and Royal Reapers are really stuck in a hole now, and they're gonna have to try and punch their way out, but I don't think that's possible anymore. It really is a case of EUS just looking so strong, and the early game went so badly for EUS, but it was Royal Reapers who were unable to push their advantages through the mid game. They had 3 winning matchups. They managed to secure 3 winning lanes, went to the mid game, and were unable to close out. And that vital fact means the EUS, thanks to their opportunism in these fights, the fact they're actually able to willing to take fights when they thought they could have been down and out, means the EUS are now fighting, pushing through that bot lane, and they might be able to take this game. However, it's certainly not over yet. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy one. We'll see what happens in the next few minutes, because we're 44 minutes into this game now, and they're still not a victor.
Second Elder is so important in this game, and it's mad that in the current meta, that's something that could exist on the map. Royal Reapers, if they win a team fight, or even if they get themselves maybe a 1 or 2 picks, they win the game. There's not much standing in their way right now if they can get picks and if they can get kills, but I don't see them getting those kills without losing lots of members. And if Royal Reapers all fall down, then EUS win this game because they've now got Baron. They've managed to take the objectives that were standing in their way, and now they're just giving up second Elder Drake, and you lose the game if this Dragon falls, and it looks like EUS, they're just going to be able to grab this one for free. This is going to be such a struggle for Royal Reapers.
It really is. And they can't take any fights right now, and Imbi needs to learn that.
Onto Ku, the collar's coming down, a lot of damage onto that Swain. He's going to be able to only regen a little bit off it. That was important, but he doesn't go down. That is so crucial. As EUS, they've been slowed. They're going to have to reset to get this Swain back up to peak physical condition, but Royal Reapers, they didn't get enough to be able to push forward too much. They're just going to be clearing house.
They are, and at this point, it's a real difficult one, because ideally, you'd put someone like Omena in the side lane, and you'd keep them as like a 5-man in the mid lane, and then allow us to push straight control. The issue is Omena went for the Ignite this game. He doesn't have teleport, and so if they do spot Omena in a side lane, all of a sudden they just turn on that fight instantly. 5v4, you're all dead. Omena can't join the fight, and that's it. But at the same time, now, like, EUS are just so strong in the 5v5 in general. They have that Elder buff, the second Elder buff, alongside the fact that now they're just winning 5v5s anyways, that Royal Reapers are just, that it feels like any option you try and think of them to get out, like a split push, or a team fight, or a siege, all these ideas that come up in your head, you play them out, and they just don't work for them. EUS seems to have them checkmated, it feels like, in this game.
I'd be shocked if Royal Reapers came back to win this game. I don't know how they could do it, as EUS are moving down that bot side, looking to try and get a push on with that Baron, with that double Elder. Royal Reapers, they're going to have to contest that push somehow. They're not going to be able to win a base race at the current state of the game. And you've got Kled putting pressure on mid. Inhibitor will be respawning soon for Royal Reapers, but they're going to be losing a tower right here. EUS lose their Baron though, and once again they might be saved because EUS don't really have great pushing power. They need to get engaged in the fight on to get these objectives, and right now Royal Reapers, they need to just hold strong, not lose members, and hope they can just ride out the storm.
Yeah, they can hope, but it's just... Then there's a bright side. The US do struggle to siege, so if they're able to hold them off, it's very good. The issue is that's a double Mountain Dragon alongside the Elder buff, so they're still going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage to these towers when they can sneak in one or two of those autos. So it's only a matter of time before Royal Reaper's base starts to fall apart. It's just... It feels like the game has hit a bit of a stalemate now, but EUS, like I said, it feels like they just win every scenario. It feels like they have checkmate here. Royal Reapers can try all they want, they can hold off for as long as they can. I don't think they win this game. It's going to take some mechanical misplays from EUS to really force a Royal Reapers win right now.
Having said that though, we have seen overextensions from the likes of Megalico and Ku in this game already. It's now only 4 members pressuring. Shen is going towards that top side looking for that inhibitor. That's a very smart play. Ku has taken a bit of damage. The Cracker Wonderboy is going to be returned onto though. As Shen going to look to try and crack open the base. We've got Amena going up to fight 1v1 with the Shen. And now might be the time for EUS to look to engage. They've got a lot of damage on to the Pig, who's going to be going low, going to be going down. Cracker Wonderboy will fall as Ku is standing. Can tank up that tower as long as he wants. As Imbi is going to have to sneak out the back of that fight. Amena goes golden with the ultimate from Bard as Mr. Botlin is going to be knocked off Scala. We're going to have to flash away, but Dankor follows him and gets the kill up there. They're cleaning house right now, and EUS has surely just won this game. They managed to pick up a Mena as well. That's a full ace from EUS, and they're going to sneak in that top side and finish this one up.
And there we go, EUS finally finished this game. 48.5 minutes on the clock, and boy, what a comeback. Royal Reapers had such a strong early game. We're knocking at the base of EUS, but EUS, they're saying, no, we're going to win this game. And they stamped down their authority, and at 48.5 minutes, they are the victors.
It was their game to, it was Royal Reapers' game to lose, and then Royal Reapers lost the game. They had such a dominant early game, and I think I want to be very clear on my opinions on the EUS draft, in that EUS should have lost this game. It is very much... It's sad to say it, but it's very much on Royal Reapers that Royal Reapers lost. Because EUS, early game, as you said before, none of their champions were doing anything. Their composition was bad for early game, and they were losing. Like, Megalico died 11 times in the first, 15-20 minutes, and then doesn't die for the rest of the game. Someone like Ku wasn't doing anything early game, but was so huge in these late game fights. Kodo was irrelevant, but then came back and ended 11-2. Royal Reapers weren't able to close out, and it cost them dearly. They can no longer finish top 2 mathematically in the SQ1 Champions League, and if they keep playing like that, like we saw them play in the last 15 minutes of that game, I'm worried they won't be able to make it to playoffs.
And the funny thing is, we talk about inconsistency as game to game, we see different Royal Reapers. In one game, we saw 2 different Royal Reapers. We saw a game at the start where Royal Reapers are being proactive, making plays themselves, being decisive in terms of the ganks they were making, the plays they were making, getting themselves leads, pushing them for objectives. But it feels like that kind of thinking, that Royal Reapers that we like to see, just kind of faded away around the 25-minute mark. And all of a sudden, they became incredibly indecisive, couldn't close out. And it was due to that the EUS were able to come back. Now, I do want to say kudos to EUS for the fact that they were able to hold on. When you get destroyed that hard in the early game, when you get practically dunked on like that, when all of your champions are seen as pretty much irrelevant, and then you bring it back, it has to be said that EUS put up a good performance in that late game. However, Royal Reapers, the question remains, what Royal Reapers do we end up seeing? Because this Royal Reapers is not going to be one that contends in playoffs, I'll tell you that right now.
Well, that is all we got time for on this video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this VOD. It was an exceptional game, EUS picking up the win against Royal Reapers in one of the longest games we've seen in the SQ1 Champions League. If you want to see more games, then make sure you join us Mondays and Tuesdays from 6 PM BST, where we have massive number of games, truly extraordinary. You're watching a VOD right now on YouTube, I imagine, unless we put them somewhere else. So there are probably games in your suggested bar you can go watch, or just jump back to our channel. Subscribe to that as well. Byron, do you want to give us any words of wisdom to see us home? Thank you very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time for some more Square One Champions League.